Going into Christmas in a good position,
Yeah, we're pleased with what we've achieved so far, but realising there's a long way to go, and things will be taken away from us very quickly in this game. So we have to keep the momentum going. But right now, we've worked hard to put ourselves in this position, and we're going to try very hard to stay in a similar position for the rest of the season.
Do you find yourself in sort of different territory now, whereas before you sort of top Welsh region with the Managers League, but obviously the Highland Cup as well? You're in a different place now, and people are looking at you to maybe to shoot at you now, do you think?
Oh, I don't think that's the case yet. I think there's still a lot of cynicism out there, and we're still working very hard. We've got a long way to go, but we're pleased, obviously, with the progress that we've made to date. But as I say, I think things can be taken away very quickly, and because of where we've been the last 2 years, we're going to fight very hard to make sure that doesn't happen.
And in terms of where you've been, you've obviously had to put this. You've gone through a process of getting here. Is it make it all worthwhile where you are at the moment, in terms of what you've had to do, putting faith in the young boys and sort of playing like that?
Yeah, to a certain extent, and it's not just giving the developing players the faith in themselves by actually playing them, but it's actually the environment you create, because just giving them the opportunity by itself doesn't work. It has to be the right environment, and we've worked hard with these boys over the last 18 months. There's a good group of coaches here working particularly hard to ensure that they keep their development going, and right now it's all paying dividends for us, and but we know we have to continue working hard and not have any complacency in where we are. We certainly haven't got that. We believe we're very humble as a group, and as I said, we know how quickly things can be taken away, so we're going to focus on working very hard on maintaining where we are.
The Leicester Perpignan result there, you must have been pleased with that one, wasn't it? It was probably the best result you could have hoped for, wasn't it?
It was a great result for us, yeah. It was absolutely a great result, and I think that's the beauty of Europe, that there's so many quality teams in there that anything is possible. In the last 3 or 4 years, we haven't helped ourselves, but we haven't had great results go away either. Obviously, with us getting 15 points out of 4 games is pretty significant, and then having a result like that helps.
I know it's a way away, but Leicester just on the horizon, the magnitude of that game on the horizon, be great. Looking forward to it.
Well, I've always said that you have to win your home games, and that hasn't changed. We were always going to have to beat Leicester no matter what at home, and that's still the case. So that's a hugely significant game for us. It probably always was going to be, but there's a little bit of added significance, and also particularly the way that we performed against them last time was very disappointing. The only game I believe that we weren't good enough to win this season, we'll want to try and put that right. It won't be easy, because they're a real quality outfit. They're used to these big European encounters, and they've got a lot of experience in the team who are used to winning these types of games. But it's great to have this level of competition and this excitement going into such a big fixture for us.
Before that, the Ospreys, you both come in off good results. It's Boxing Day derby again. What are you expecting?
It's going to be very tough, isn't it? It's going to be very physical. I think both sides are prepared for that. And it's a great occasion, as much as there's a lot of rivalry between both sets of supporters and both camps, really. I think it's great to have that, because that's what people want to see in a modern sporting context. People want to see the Scarlets play the Ospreys. It's a huge fixture, and that's why it'll probably be a sellout.
What's it going to take to beat them, Nigel? I mean, up front they were so impressive against Munster.
Yeah, we're going to have to be very accurate, we're going to have to be clinical, and we're going to have to take our chances. We already played them once this year, and it could have gone either way. I think the contact area will be absolutely key. Not only the way it's managed by both teams, but also I think the way it's interpreted by the referee, and that will certainly have a bearing on the game. And we'll take it from there.
Are you enjoying the kind of challenge that you got at the minute? I mean, you look at the Ospreys and they've got these massive names, world names, but you're kind of nurturing these youngsters, and you're going to be a big part of the Welsh set, if you imagine, over the years.
I think this justification, I suppose, over the last 18 months, because we have invested heavily in them, and I say it's not just giving them the opportunity, it's making sure they're in the right environment, and we always had a plan. And it's great when a plan has actually seemed to come together. So very satisfying for myself and the coaches and everybody here at Parc y Scarlets, but also supporters, because they've been with us through some of the rough times in the last two years. And for them to see these boys mature and develop has been great as well. And I think everybody's fully behind us now. But as you rightly say, they're a side full of current internationals. We're not. They're playing at home. They're obvious favourites for this game, and it's a game that we're hugely looking forward to, because we do believe we've come on quite significantly over the last 18 months, and this will be a massive test.
Is this a kind of, plus for the youngsters, it's a marker of how far they've come, performances against players like Collins, etc.?
Yeah, but I think they've already started to show that. I don't think that they have to necessarily prove anything more. They have to just keep the momentum that we've got going, and it will be a step up in many regards. But it's a local derby, it's huge intensity, and it tends to bring out the best in both sets of players.
Is it difficult to pick yourself up for a derby after such a big European game? No? No,
not at all. It's not an issue at all. I think it's a difficult week because obviously you've got Christmas, and we can't forget that, and it is a big family occasion, and all the players from both sides will be involved in Christmas festivities. So the way the players manage themselves is particularly important this week, and being able to put things into boxes in terms of, okay, that's the game, that's how I've got to be focused for that, but in between I've got to give a bit of family time as well. So it's very important how the players manage themselves to turn up in the right frame of mind, but that's not going to be a problem for either teams, I don't think.
You said there's a fair amount of cynicism around at the moment. Do you think you're perhaps not getting the credit you deserve then for your performances recently?
Not necessarily, I think until you actually win something, maybe rightly so as well. So we've still got a lot to prove in that context, and we know that. But considering where we've come over the last 2 years, and how we've brought this group along with us, I think we have achieved quite a lot. But in terms of winning anything, we haven't. So that's something that still eludes us. But we put ourselves in pretty good position in all competitions, and we've got to make sure we don't lose that now.
Is that going to be the message to the players before the Ospreys game? You've had some great results, but you haven't actually achieved anything yet.
Not necessarily. I think that I want to focus more on the positives, because there's a lot of positives here. As I said, I think there's only one game, and that was the Leicester game, that we weren't good enough to win. The other games we either won or we've come very close, and arguably we should have won. So we're very confident as a group in terms of what we can do, but we realise there's a lot of good quality teams out there, and the Ospreys are one of those sides, and they're a side that's capable of beating anybody on the day. We just got to make sure we turn up and we perform on the day. If we do that, we're in with a shout.
Obviously, fitness news, Nigel, is back.
Yeah, there's there's a couple of late fitness tests that will be taking place towards the end of this week.
Jonathan Davies,
and Dave Lyons will the three that we'll test later on in the week to make sure that they're okay or not. Apart from that, there's nothing of any significance there.
Reece Priestland's okay?
Yeah, he's fine. Yeah.
What about up front, Nigel? I mean, Simon Garner played in Europe. There's been talk about bringing in another tight end. What's the kind of latest situation on that?
The latest situation is that we're going to back ourselves to develop the group of players that we've got here. We've got a number of good youngsters that we're looking at, and we're looking at a couple of other options. But in terms of big name signings, no, they won't be really. We're going to back ourselves to do what we can with a group of very promising youngsters that we've got. It's worked for us in other areas. I don't see why it won't work for us in this area. What I wasn't going to do is look to bring in a player of maybe unknown quality, or a player who's maybe past his best, to fill a gap where we could be giving it to development opportunities to the group that we've got. There were some big names out there, but unfortunately we work into a budget as well. So taking everything into consideration, we've got a group of players here that we think can do a job for us, and so far they're standing up. There's nothing we can do in Europe anyway.
You put Simon in for the Treviso games, and
he's done very well. He's done exceptionally well. We're delighted with Simon's progress. And we've got a number of other young players that we're looking at as well who can go there, which you'll probably see over the coming months. But as far as Europe goes, we're pretty much we're limited to what we can do there anyway.
I suppose Scrum will provide a test as well, won't it? How well they went against Munster.
Yeah, they went very well, extremely well, very capable. Forward platform, good line out, good scrum, very effective without the ball. So that they're that's why they're a quality team.
These games are traditionally quite close these days, aren't they? 3 points down here.
Yes, yeah, there's huge intensity. It'll swing on a couple of moments. Hopefully there'll be moments which are dictated by the play. But, what tends to happen as well in these big encounters where they're very tight, a couple of key decisions can make the difference, whether they be right or wrong decisions.
Have you had the scan results for Stephen as well? Are they to come?
No, we've had the scan results, and it's anything between 3 and 4 weeks, really. No.
Yeah. But you got Reece in there who's, he's been done fantastically well, hasn't he?
Reece has done exceptionally well, and he has done, and he's fronted up for the best part of the last sort of 12 months or so. But we've also got Dan Newton, who's playing exceptionally well and can play at 15 and at 10. And we've got young Steve Shingler, who again is somebody who's really stepped up to the mark. So we've got plenty of cover in that position of quality.
Just on Stephen, so 3 or 4 weeks from now, or from when he did sort of the injury?
From now.
From now.